What's up, my homies? Today I'm going to teach you how to get your first pull-up. I'm going to share the secrets that I used to get my very first pull-up. So let's do this together. Let's go. Before we start training for our first pull-up, what is a pull-up? We need to identify what that pull-up is before we start training for it. So a pull-up is you hanging from something. It could be a tree limb. It could be a pull-up bar. It could be a set of gymnastic rings. So you're hanging from this object with your arms fully extended, 180 degrees, and you pull your chin, so you raise your body with your arms only, so that your chin is on level or slightly above the height of your hands, okay? And that's a pull-up. Now that you know what a pull-up is, we can start training for it, okay? There are tons of progressions you can do to get your first pull-up. If you're just starting off exercising, you need to start very basic and very linear in your progression. So I totally recommend starting off with something like ring rows. This is the first progression. Ring rows is a body weight movement where you start off at an incline, and the more upright you are, the easier the movement is. As you lean back more so that your back is closer to the ground, the more difficult it is, okay? So what do I recommend? Well, maybe let's say 5 sets of 5. That will be true for all the progressions. Let's just keep it simple. Let's do 5 sets of 5. And if you can do 5 sets of 5 at a certain incline on ring rows, you should be able to lay down a little bit more the next time you do it. Maybe it's a couple inches forward with your feet, and that's where you're staying for the entire ring row set. Okay, so all 5 sets would be at the same decline or incline depending on how you look at it. All right, once you get to the point where you can do 5 sets of 5 ring rows lying down, where you're at a very little incline, if 0 at all, then we can move on to the second progression. The second progression is the chin up hold. Chin up hold, a lot of people kind of skip this progression entirely, but I think it's really important to build up your grip strength as well as your core strength. When I do chin up holds, I get a lot of ab soreness if I do enough of them. Okay, and if you're doing it for the first time, you can be sure that you're going to be feeling it in your abs in a couple days after. So chin up holds is great for not only building, obviously, your grip strength, but definitely your core strength as well. So once you can hold a chin up hold for 20 seconds at least, you're ready for the next progression, which is the assisted negative. A negative is an excellent way to build body weight strength as well as weightlifting strength, but most of the time negatives are used for body weight progressions. Okay, and a negative that is assisted in this case, so you'll get to the top of the rings or the bar, whatever you're doing your pull-up on. Okay, you have to control your descent down. Now, if you're going from the previous progression, which is the chin-up hold, you might just drop out of the sky like a flying meteor because you have strength here, but you don't have strength way at the bottom. All right. So in order to build that strength, you're going to need a little help. And the best way to do that is you grab a chair and you have one leg on the chair the whole time. Okay. So when you start descending with your arms, your leg is there to take some of the load off because your arms just aren't quite strong enough. And again, like I said, with the ring rows, you want to be able to do 5 sets of 5 here. Now, the thing with negatives is that you want to spend time under tension. So when you're going down, if you're going down and it's only taking you 1 to 2 seconds to go down, it's too difficult for you. You need to be able to control that negative for 5+ seconds all the way to lockout, and do that at least 5 times in a row. All right, so 5 sets of 5, 4 or 5 seconds. I'll type it in here so you can kind of visualize that as well. So once you feel comfortable and strong in the assisted negative, now it's time for the unassisted negative, where you're just floating in the air. So you're holding your chin up hold, your pull up hold, and you're controlling yourself down, and your feet aren't touching anything. Okay, so you're at this point controlling your body weight entirely by your arms and your core. And again, you want to do 5 sets of 5 here for a 5-second descent, and get at least 2-minute rest between each set. But once you can do several sets of 5 bodyweight negatives, I guarantee you'll have your first pull-up. Why? Because that's how I got my first pull-up. My first pull-up, I started with body weight negatives. I was really, really strong in certain areas, especially when it came to weightlifting, but I had never trained. So this is when I was 21. I had never trained body weight a whole lot other than maybe some push-ups. So I had 0 pull-ups, and I could squat 350 pounds, which is ridiculous to think about, but it's true. So I was really, really out of balance, and I realized this imbalance in my fitness, and I started doing negatives to get my first pull-up. It took me a few months, but I trained it 2 to 3 days a week. It was one of the worst things I've ever done, I'm not going to lie, but now my pull-ups are one of my strongest movements, and it's because it all started with negatives, okay? So if you're not quite to negatives yet, guys, work your way to get there as fast as you can, because once you get there, strength is going to skyrocket really, really quickly. But that's it, guys. Those are the 4 progressions I have for you guys to get your first pull-up. We have ring rows, we have chin-up holds, we have the assisted negative, and then finally we have the full body weight negative. And once you master all of those things, you will be well on your way to getting your first pull-up, and probably many, 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 many more after that, okay? Because again, once you get your first pull-up, that starts the new cycles. Hey, how can I get 5 pull-ups? How can I get 10? And if you guys are interested in how to build past, hey, I'm stuck at 5 pull-ups, I can definitely help you with that as well. But that's it, guys. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, put it down below. Peace.